So I saw this advertisement called Drive a Go-Go before, it was like right around when COVID really hit. What it is that you would take a drive up to Alaska and launch a car off a cliff. I guess in Glacier View, that's the way they celebrate the 4th of July is they launch junk cars off this 300 so foot cliff. And there's all these fans down there. It's like their July 4th celebration. It's like their way of celebrating fireworks because it's light like almost all night there. So I was going to sign up. The COVID hit. Had to wait a couple years. Out of the blue, they decided to do it again. They called it the Caravan of Carnage. I bought a old police car. It was a Dodge Charger, and it was actually I bought it from a fellow cannonballer out of Texas. I think his name was Bronson Justice, and I think he had a lot of success with this car. Something about a record or something. I don't know if a smaller event, what have you. But I contacted him because I knew he had it for sale. Made a fair deal on the car. Flew out to Texas, brought it back to Florida. Looked it over. The older I get, I got to have AC now. So made sure the AC was going good because that's a long trip through Florida and the South and Texas and what have you. So AC was working. I think we only had to change one tire. We put new brake pads on the front, and that was it. We were ready to roll. I love old police cars. So it was from Texas. I'm thinking, okay, Buford T. Justice. So we had this giant sticker made, if you will, to put on the hood of the car. It says, "Happy 4th of July, you some bitch." And it was red, white, and blue, and it had Jackie Gleason right there. Take off from Florida and meeting these guys in Reno, Nevada. Then we're going to drive from Reno through Canada up to Glacier View to launch these cars. So I get to Reno, meet up with those guys, and then we're halfway between Reno and the Canadian border, and I happen to randomly meet this person at a gas station. He says, "You're not going to get that car through the Canadian border." And I was like, "Well, why, why not?" And he says that a couple years ago, there was a mass murderer in Canada that killed, I think it was 22 people. I mean, really horrible stuff. Like he was killing people, their pets, kids, even 2 police officers, just a horrible mass murder. And he did it in a decommissioned police car. He pretended he was a cop to approach a lot of these people that he ended up murdering. So officially, Canada stopped selling decommissioned police cars in 2020. I don't know if they resumed it since then or not, but he says, "You're not going to get that through." So I'm like, kind of like freaking out now. So did some research. I talked to somebody in one of the border stations on the phone. They says, as long as you have no markings on it as a police car, you can't have a push bar, lights, no fake uniforms, nothing like that. So of course, I had an old police outfit, threw that out. I didn't have a light bar on top, but I had one on the inside, so I got rid of that. Had somebody take off the push bar. I thought I was good to go, right? So we get up to the Canadian border, and at the time I had Christopher Michaels in the car, which I'm sure you've seen him do stories on this channel. To me, he's a great guy. He's like an American Crocodile Dundee. So he's probably been through more borders than anybody I know. So we come up there, I told him about what's going on. He goes, "Don't worry about it, we're gonna be good." So we get up to the border. The other 2 cars were already gone through, and we get told to pull over, get out of the car, leave it there, give us your keys, and wait for us inside. And I'm like, man, what, I think I'm good. What does Christopher Michaels have, like an albino alligator in his pocket or something? I mean, you just never know. So I'm kind of flipping out because we got a long ways to go too to Glacier View. So we sit there for like an hour, and then they call me up, and they said, "What is this for?" And I had completely forgot, but when I bought the car, it came with the key, and on that ring, it was a handcuff key that I had on the ring. And they says, "Why do you have this?" So I had to explain everything. The guy was real serious, obviously, about that. So he just kept, nodding his head. Then he said, "We got another question for you. How come it has a Texas plate on the front and a Florida plate on the back?" So then I had to explain to him again. I said, "Well, I bought the car in Texas, drove it to Florida. I thought the Texas plate was cool. I wanted to keep it up front. I probably should have not done that. I only had one plate. So they said, well, go ahead and sit back down. We'll get to you in a minute. It was like another hour. They came up there, actually gave me the key with the handcuff key back and said, you're good to go. And I didn't say, I just said, thank you very much. We got in the car and made it up to Glacier View. So that was really an unbelievable experience. I love cop cars, but man, you really got to be careful with, different municipalities and obviously different countries of taking a car like that around. And don't be surprised if you get pulled over because, you never know what, is kosher in a different country. I wanted a car that was functional enough to get me from, Florida to Alaska. It's about, I think, 5,000 miles. We ended up taking us 6,000 miles or more because we had to backtrack 48 hours because some beavers washed out a big bridge and there was only one road in. So we had to really backtrack. But I wanted a car that was functional, but at the same time, you don't want to overspend because this thing's gonna be launched off a cliff. So that's why I bought that car. I made a good price on it. I think we both were happy with it, but it looked better than it ran for sure. But what was nice too is having some fellow cannonballers on the drive. I'm not a master mechanic, but believe me, these guys can fix anything on wheels and something with a motor. So I felt really safe, being in that group. My wife actually flew up there and she gets car sick. So she's not about to drive in a crappy car that long, but met me there at the event. We were standing down below, waiting for it to come off the cliff. It was like no other experience I've ever experienced. It's an old Hemi motor, and it was, of course, I cut all the mufflers off it, so it was basically straight pipe Hemi, old Hemi. And when it actually launched off the cliff, it sounded like a T-Rex or like a dinosaur. It was so amazing, but it flew pretty far, but that's a heavy car. But the crazy thing about it was as soon as it hit the ground, the motor separated itself like surgically separated itself, landed next to the car. Well, the motor coming out popped the hood off. So that was a kind of a prized possession I didn't realize, I saw a bunch of videos of them launching, but after all the cars are launched, there's, I don't know, maybe 500 to 1,000 people that come and watch this every year that live in Alaska. As soon as the last car launches and it's done, settled, they let everybody go out there. It's like, going to a car part place. They can take anything they want off these cars. And it was unreal to see. These people were like really into it. I mean, they were really pulling parts to use on other things. Somebody got the hood from that car, these two kids, and they were, beyond happy because it had the picture of Buford T on there. Another friend of mine that had this Ford truck that was, I don't even know how it made it that far. They got the hood off that, and I saw them dragging it with a three-wheeler, of course, up to their campsite. And I just had to ask them, what are you guys going to do with that? And they said, well, we're going to make a new chicken coop out of it. It's going to be the roof. And Alaskans are some amazing, hardy people, super nice. And yeah, but they were pulling every part they could off these cars. It was pretty cool to see.
The Ticket Clinic just launched a brand new podcast, so click the bubble on your screen or the link in the description to subscribe now and get all of Mark Gold's great expertise. And of course, the Ticket Clinic is still here to fight a ticket no matter where you get one. So check them out now to thank them for their support of VINwiki and fight your ticket with the Ticket Clinic.